Tushar Gupta, is it also not becoming a pattern that when people don't like certain judgments, they begin to question the court's credibility?
Absolutely, Shivani. Good evening. You can conspire against a politician. You can conspire against a political party. But to conspire against the state, that is unforgivable. The fellow co-panelists might want to believe that the allegations that have been made against Teesta Setalvad are mere allegations. But in the judgment by the Supreme Court in the Zakia Jafri versus the state of Gujarat case, clearly highlight that Teesta Setalvad was involved in illicit activities. She was using the funds that were meant to be for the victim of the Gujarat riots, using it to further her own political agenda.
No, but Tushar, the point that I'm making is that not only has the Supreme Court, not only has the Supreme Court written this in an order, asked agencies to pursue this in accordance with law. Today, the bail has also been denied, looking at the severity of those charges. Now, somebody may not like that the bail has been denied, but surely we're not going to, hold our courts as biased.
Absolutely.
That's precisely the point I was making.
Absolutely. I'm in thorough agreement with you, Shivani, because today you might want to dismiss what has the court said against Teesta Setalvad, but they also have the charges before them. They also have the findings before them.
Yes.
They also have the findings of the Nana Shah Commission before them. So there are enough reasons to prosecute Teesta Setalvad in this case, to deny her the bail. Who can forget the imaginary tale she's fabricated against the state? She said that there was a pregnant woman which was raped, gang raped by Hindu men, a pregnant Muslim woman. She also made, there have been findings which say she was bribing witnesses to speak against the investigative agencies. Now, today, when the court denies bail, people have a problem with that. You cannot question the state when it's investigating charges like these. And of all things, you cannot question the judiciary because it gives a decision that is not to your liking. Shivani, Teesta Setalvad is the same woman who said in 2019 that CAA is not just against Muslims, but also against the Adivasis, the Dalits, and the migrant laborers. While I question the shamelessness of that woman, I also question the ignorance of those who back her. Today, if the judgment is not to your liking, you cannot question the judiciary. I'm sorry, that's the truth. If a Teesta Setalvad has been denied the bail by the court, there is also a Mohammed Zubair who's walking free even after what all he's done.
Yeah. Now, Saira Shah Halim is now leaving the show just because she doesn't like me pinpointedly asking her whether this is her opinion, because you have to own up to that opinion. You cannot shoot off somebody else's shoulders that something has been said, people have said, it has been perceived. By whom? At the end of the day, we all have to be careful when we raise fingers against the judiciary of the country, not just a particular order or a particular person. To insinuate that the judiciary is in on giving certain favorable decisions because of who is in power is a very serious allegation, and I hope she will be held accountable for those statements and not nobody else on this discussion. But Tuhin Sinha, my question to you is this. Do you believe that the conspiracy that the BJP has also been alleging for a very long time, that there is such evidence in this case that it will not just be the individuals who have been mentioned today, but the deeper conspiracy that will also come to light? Because at the end of the day, like many feel, and as Tushar was saying, this is the conspiracy against the state, against an elected government, and against, the government's, the larger government state machinery in India.
Good evening, Shivani. Good evening to all your viewers. First of all, it is very heartening that Teesta Setalvad did not get bail, and I'm sure the truckload of evidence that is available against her would ensure that she is in jail for a longer time. But look at how confused and how compromised India's opposition is. Saira, who fights, against the Congress in Bengal, comes here to defend a Congress-sponsored mercenary who was responsible for maligning the state of Gujarat, who was responsible for maligning the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, who's now the Prime Minister of the country. But if you look at it, due legal process which should have been ideally followed much ago is being followed right now. Everything that is happening on the instructions of the Supreme Court. The SIT was instituted based on the instructions of the Supreme Court, and the findings of the SIT are absolutely shocking. It also points towards the larger conspiracy which involves Ahmed Patel, and when Ahmed Patel is involved, it involves the top leadership of the Congress party. So yes, in due course of time, you will see, a lot, probably more people getting, getting drawn into it, and the real conspiracy would involve the top leadership when it gets finally exposed. Would involve 10 Janpat and Rahul and Sonia Gandhi.
Do you really feel, Tuhin, because one of the charges against the BJP-led governments also is that you make a lot of tall allegations, but if you look at the trajectory of a lot of these investigations, they don't really get to the people that you claim are behind, the larger individuals who are behind the conspiracy. You're naming 10 Janpat. Do you have the stomach to take that fight to 10 Janpat?
Well, I am speaking on the basis of initial findings, which even you as a journalist are privy to. And as a politician, I'm entitled to make tall claims because I want the two of them, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, who are not just involved in this maligning, but also in the other National Herald case, to be behind bars. So yes, I would want to see them, these investigations reach its logical end. Whether or not it reaches its logical end, the conviction rate in India as well. So these are other issues. But I think as a politician, I'm within my rights to pin the blame on the top leadership of the Congress from the matter, from the content which is already out in public domain.
Okay, Sumitra, do you think as a country, if we forget the fact that, of course, there was a political rivalry at play here, courts have also mentioned this, that there were political motives at play. But look at everything that transpired in the last 20 years. There are foreign influence, money, funding, and all individuals, everything that is being talked about here. Do you believe that as a country, regardless of who it was against, we need to stand up to this kind of conspiracy against elected individuals, against political parties in India, against elected governments, especially, when you also have a specter of international interference?
Right. Shivani, I would like to use a word here, which is enemies within. So basically, this is an ecosystem which has vested interest. And when you look at the funding mechanism, I believe there have been FCRA violations as well, which has come into play.
Yes.
Then there has been a constant media trial and maligning the name of the CM of Gujarat, then CM of Gujarat. And you can understand the emotional torture, or I can't use a better word. I think it's a torture to that man for the last 20 years or that time, because even his US travel was not happening. He couldn't travel to US and such kind of things. And then this lady, she went to US. She spoke about how India was exploiting the minorities, and she was writing letters to the UN. So the entire ecosystem was supporting her, whether it is by way of funding or providing her some kind of legal assistance. There was a media trial. There were n number of articles written in the newspaper. Whenever we discuss about any violence or any communal riot, every time the reference goes to Gujarat. So last 20 years, if somebody has been, observing the political space in the country, I think everything ultimately goes down to Gujarat.
Yeah.
And then this entire thing, it's a huge conspiracy, like you rightly pointed out, that it is against the state. And the Supreme Court has made very important comments while the case was not taken up. Yes. And on the basis of that, the Gujarat has filed the
SIT
FIR.
report. Yes.
So so basically what we can see is now things are coming to play. I don't know how many people will now apologize for whatever has happened, because as a citizen of the country, I feel is India's image has really taken a hit. There are people who speak about human rights, civil rights, how minorities are getting oppressed in India, and these things make a lot of difference. So I don't know
yes,
where
and at the
and
same